uncomfortable for everybody involved.
Listen, you can't talk me out of it, okay? Look at me. This is not me crazy. All right? I know what I'm doing, so turn around.
I'm coming.
Go.
I'm coming with you.
Get through. I'm okay, fine. It just needs a little... Oh my God! Oh God!
Directed by Matt Reeves and produced by J.J. Abrams, Cloverfield was a landmark achievement for the found footage subgenre. With its intense and frantic cinematography, mysterious monster, and a slew of interesting marketing campaigns, the film was a critical success, spawning a somewhat successful, albeit disjointed franchise. Drenched in anxiety and grounded in reality, the movie gives us a front row seat to a kaiju attack in New York City. Hey guys, what's happening? Niyat here with Film Comics Explained, and today we're taking a deeper look at the film's story, production process, its amazing viral campaign, and the focal monster in Matt Reeves' intriguing take on the monster movie formula.
They just hit it right now! You guys, they just hit it! They hit it with... Oh my God!
The film centers on a group of friends at a farewell party for their pal Robert Hawkins, who's leaving New York for a new job in Japan. The party progresses smoothly until a massive tremor hits the city. Heading to the roof to get a better view, the entire group witnesses an enormous explosion off the coast, followed by a hellfire of debris that rains down on the neighborhood. With the destruction of multiple landmarks by a mysterious creature, the city is thrown into a state of panic and a wide-scale evacuation is started. After receiving a phone call from his ex-girlfriend Beth, who left the party early and is now trapped in her crumbling apartment, Rob and his friends make the decision to journey into the heart of the city to rescue her. While the focal monster in Cloverfield is never named within the narrative, members of the film's crew and faithful fans have simply dubbed it Clover. Standing at approximately 300 feet and with a length of over 1,200 feet, Clover is a humongous quadrupedal deep-sea creature.
It's not clear why the oil rig was the target of this vicious attack. Cell phone footage taken from inside the rig itself shows the panic and terror which the violent shaking.
When the film was released, many viewers assumed it was an extraterrestrial that crash-landed into the planet, but it's actually of earthly origin, initially discovered in the depths of the Atlantic Ocean by a Japanese drilling company called Tagruatu. At the end of the film, we see footage of a broken satellite plummeting into the Atlantic Ocean as Rob and Beth enjoy a date at Coney Island. The satellite was originally owned by the Japanese government, who enlisted Tagruatu's help in locating the debris, leading to their discovery of Clover. After finding the hibernating monster, they kept its existence a secret and built a containment facility on top of it called Schwa Station. During their research, Tagruatu discovered that despite its impressive size, Clover was actually an infant specimen of an unknown deep-sea kaiju species. Sometime after the construction of Schwa Station, researchers accidentally woke it up. Trapped, scared, and too big for its own good, the infant immediately lashed out, destroying the station before fleeing toward the surface. Moving on its 4 giant legs, it uses 2 frontal limbs as defensive and grasping appendages, a forked tail for balance, and its double-jointed hind legs to support its weight. It has an elongated mouth surrounded by sharpened teeth and 2 tentacle-like appendages that serve as external esophaguses, designed to consume small prey. In place of ears, the monster has 2 large gill-like flaps that expand and retract as it breathes, either a type of organic air filtration system or a type of tympanic membrane to aid in hearing, similar to those seen in frogs. It also features 2 slit-shaped eyes on either side of its oblong skull, with no nose or nasal cavity.
Oh my God.
Donna?
Oh shit!
Donna, can you hear us?
What makes Clover all the more terrifying is that it's covered with thousands of grotesque parasites, each one approximately 3 feet in length and 2 feet in height. With 6 multi-jointed legs used for traversal, 4 pincer-like legs on their shell, large maws that extend down the front half of their body, and a sharp mandible used to tear at flesh, the grey-coloured leeches are a force of their own. Moving in packs and communicating with an odd chittering sound, they can be seen hanging from the ceilings and walls, often stalking their victims before unleashing a surprise attack. Not only is their skin tough and surprisingly durable, but they also have several blackened eyes that can see in pitch black conditions, having adapted to live in the dark reaches of the ocean. While we never get a very good look at it in the film, the parasites secrete a yellow venomous liquid from their mouths. Assumed to be a concentrated form of seabed's nectar, the steroid-like oceanic compound that Clover feeds off of, the venom causes infected humans to suffer from dizziness and orifical bleeding before their bodies burst like an overfilled water balloon.
Oh my God, they hit it! They just hit it right now! Look at you guys, they just hit it! They hit it with... Oh my God! Yeah, they hit it!
As a deep-sea organism designed to live beneath thousands of pounds of pressure, Clover's skin is appropriately resilient, able to withstand nearly every man-made projectile thrown in its way. Over the course of the night, the army throws everything it has at the monster, from simple rifle fire, explosive tank shells, rockets, to tritonal bombs composed of TNT and aluminum powder. But these onslaughts did very little to harm Clover, only ever aggravating it into a wild frenzy. The only military attack that seems to hurt the monster is widespread carpet bombing, which simultaneously blinds and burns the beast. Throughout the film, the creature mostly takes on a defensive stance. It's only towards the end of the movie that Clover starts to fight back, showing its true destructive capabilities, with buildings crumbling under its massive weight. After finally rescuing Beth and now reeling from the death of the friends they lost along the way, the remaining survivors hitch a ride on one of the last helicopters out of the city, moments before the army starts a bombing run. Unfortunately, one of the helicopters is brought down by Clover, leaving the injured Rob and Beth stranded in Central Park, moments before their evisceration.
What's great about working with JJ, for myself and what I find everyone who comes aboard, is that he's always kind of pushing everyone to do different things and to do things that you haven't seen before. If a monster did indeed attack your city, it would be captured by the people who are living it.
More than anything else, it's the secretive nature of Cloverfield's production that fueled its popularity. In an era where every project is leaked or detailed online long in advance, Cloverfield was created in utter secrecy, with only J.J. Abrams, Matt Reeves, and a few other leading creatives aware of its total scope. The idea for the movie first came to Abrams during a promotional tour for Mission Impossible 3, when he stopped at a Japanese store with his son. Reflecting on the influence that kaiju films had on Japanese pop culture, Abrams wanted to create a new original monster for America to call its own. In the veil of secrecy, principal photography began in mid-2007 with an estimated budget of $30 million. To achieve the frenzied found footage style, 2 cameras were used, including the Panasonic HVX200 camcorder for interior shots, and the Sony Cinealta F23 HD camera for outdoor scenes. Many sequences were filmed with hefty improvisation and limited directorial blocking, as the director wanted the tone to feel as grounded as possible.
We can hit this one.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay, yes. Be careful.
I'll document it.
Funnily enough, several scenes were shot by the actors rather than a traditional director of photography in an effort to add to the realism. T.J. Miller has stated that he filmed at least a third of all the footage, and about half of his work made it into the final cut. Unfortunately, as a result of the panic-driven shakiness of the camera work, Cloverfield's final cut was so frenetic that it caused many viewers to suffer from motion sickness, with bouts of dizziness and vomiting. This was so rampant that following the film's release, several cinemas even started posting written signs that warned of the stomach-churning nature of the footage.
The film was to get them to do things less perfectly. They had to sort of do method camera operation, because they're used to sort of framing everything perfectly, and we'd say, well, that looks too framed.
The secrecy of Cloverfield persisted during the advertising phase, which utilized several viral marketing campaigns to drive discussion online and expand the world building. The movie's first teaser was attached to Michael Bay's blockbuster original Transformers movie and was shown without a title card. Instead, the film's release date, 1/18/08, was the only indication of what the project was. A handful of official websites were then created, including 1/18/08.com, which featured still frame images that provided clues, and all of the major characters eventually received MySpace profiles.
The incident is being coined an environmental disaster and a matter of life and death for almost 300 individuals aboard the large deep-sea drilling platform.
The web of clues in Cloverfield's viral campaign actually hold most of the official information about Clover's origin, including the Schwa Station, Tagrawatu, and the overarching conspiracy surrounding their oil drilling process.
There's this underlying fear that we all have every day that something else might happen at any moment. And to me, the idea of a monster movie, it allows people to experience that kind of fear safely.
As a result of these Easter eggs and the intricate marketing campaign, audiences packed into theaters, and Cloverfield made over $40 million on its opening weekend, going on to spawn 2 more spiritual successes, 10 Cloverfield Lane and The Cloverfield Paradox. If the newest rumors are true, there's a direct sequel to Cloverfield on the way, produced by Abrams, that will not be employing the found footage technique, but until the director is attached, it's probably best not to get too excited. Well, that's all for today, folks. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to stay up to date on all my content. And yeah, if you have any other suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. As always, it's been a pleasure. Niyat here with Film Comics Explained. Thanks for stopping by.
I love you. I love you.
All right, we're almost out of tape. We got like 3 seconds left. What do you want to say? What do you want to say? Last thing to the king.
I had a good day.